Tab and Catherine Pierce from the Accelerator Summit. Welcome, you guys. How is it going?
It's going well. Crazy, but well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
got your event coming up on Friday, this Friday, September 30th.
It's actually Saturday, but
Oh,
yes,
Saturday.
Saturday, September 30th.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
But you're better off showing up on Friday and then realizing you're a day early
there you go.
than
Yeah.
showing up on Sunday and finding out you're a day early or a day
Late.
late.
Yeah. And the good news of it is if you do show up a day early, you get some good parking.
You do.
Yes, absolutely.
So just tell us a little bit about, how this event came about and what's it all about, who's going to be there. So before we go into that, like how did this event, come to fruition?
Tab had a wild idea in January or February of this year. And he's like, hey, let's do a conference. And I said, okay. That's how it came about.
Yeah.
There's actually a little bit more depth to that than that. She always tells that story, but I'm always like, you make it sound like I just woke up and went, "Hey, here's an idea." Um, we when we acquired what was Networking Phoenix and now Network Live, there was a company that I had called Refiners, which was a peer-to-peer executive advisory board group, and we did our first conference as Refiners back in 2021. That's how we even came up to knowing Gelly and Networking Phoenix, and then ultimately acquired them. But we did. The intention was to do a conference every year, and then in 2022, because we had just acquired the company, we held off for a year. So it wasn't just like I woke up and went, "Hey, here's an idea." The idea had been brewing because we had already done a conference. So,
Right.
so yeah, this had been in the plan for years. So to keep these going.
And what got you into doing events?
You want me to take
Yeah,
this
go
one
ahead and take
again?
that one.
Since uh, we, you know, it started because when we had refiners, my intention was, well, let's increase our membership. We'll do a conference. People will get excited about the speakers we can bring, and not many people were doing conferences during the pandemic, and so we looked at it as a chance to do something that people weren't doing at a time that wasn't a good time to do it. And that's how we got started in it. The membership, we did get membership from it, but not as much as we wanted. And then but really one of the outcomes of that was there were several of them. One of them was that we really loved the impact that we had on people. And that has really grown into the genesis of why we do these, is how do we impact people. It started off, you know, capitalistic, selfish desires, and it went into impacting. So that's kind of the genesis.
Yeah. It's I tell this story a lot, but you guys don't know it, so I'll say it in a nutshell. When I was a kid, my parents they were divorced. I was a teenager. My mom owned a house, my dad paid the rent. I lived there. So I would have these huge parties and I didn't know I was a marketer at the time. And so what I'd do is I'd hand flyers to all the girls
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
because and then I'd tell the girls invite all your friends and I say but only invite girls. So the guys would eventually find out.
oh,
Oh, of course. Yes.
And then everyone knew if Sean was having a party, it was going to be on. And I'd have like 2 cop helicopters, 5 cop cars. It was crazy.
hey,
And this
more
is just last
marketing,
week.
man. More marketing. Those
So it's,
helicopters are marketers.
yeah.
I know that's everyone else. The spotlight lets everyone else know where the
Yeah.
party is. So
That's
then, so we're
so.
doing events as well. But back to your event. So this is 2 years in the making. So this one you're having these great speakers at those. So I want to talk a little bit about the speakers, and of course it's about impact. So my events, my thing is how can I make the biggest impact and the biggest transformation to the most people at one time?
Yes.
And that's events.
Yes.
So we're gathering all these people together. So tell us a little bit that it's Saturday, September 30th from 8 to
Till
6.
6. Yes. So
And it's at the
At the the Scottsdale Resort at McCormick Ranch
Okay.
Scottsdale,
in Scottsdale, Arizona.
And people can get tickets at,
theacceleratesummit.com.
so it's theacceleratesummit.com, exactly like it's spelled.
Yes.
And it sounds like it's spelled. Okay, so people go there right now and get your tickets, and we'll see you there. And what do we expect to see? Who do we expect to see, and what do we expect to experience at the summit?
It is going to be a fantastic event. We have Michael Burnoff, who's a master in communications, and not only with how we communicate with each other, but how we communicate with ourselves, and how making just little tweaks in the things that we say, the language we use, can make a huge impact in our lives. We've got Coach Michael Burt, who is a multi-million-dollar coach. He's America's coach, and he does sales training and business development, all that, marketing. He has a lot of different programs.
And he just wrote a book called Flip the Switch.
And he did. Yes, it's fantastic. And we have Chris Carlisle, who is overcame physical developmental odds when he was a baby, and took an industrial fan to his head when he was an adult, and also battled cancer while helping the Seahawks win a Super Bowl championship. And which, yay, Seahawks.
Yeah, we got a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans on here. Boo Seahawks.
Okay, sorry. And then Shay Hillenbrand, who is a peak performance mindset coach. He's a former 2-time MLB All-Star. And he just brings so much energy and so much fire, and just kind of gives you like a wake-up call as to what our potential truly is and what we can accomplish when we have our heads straight. Who else?
So I'm gonna just wrap up a couple things.
There's Karen Worstel.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'd say about Shay is he's more than a motivational coach. He's really about how do you get the most out of your life and be directional. But he is probably the best, if somebody calls him a motivational speaker, out there right now. Chris Carlisle, another thing that's unique about him is he's the only person to have won a football championship, high school, every level of college, and the Super Bowl. So he's more than just like a one-hit guy. Karen Worstel, who you mentioned, she's a 3-time C-level executive at Microsoft, AT&T Wireless, Russell Investment, and she is a very dynamic lady, and somebody I've known for a couple of decades. And then we have we got this guy named Naveen Jain. He's going to be joining us remotely. He came to the U.S. with $5 and is now worth billions. And he's somebody that that we had on our first conference. And I tried hard to get him out physically to Arizona, and he's like, I can't. I'll do it online. He's so powerful that he's worth any way that we can get him in there. He's the person that will impact everybody. And I'm sure we're missing somebody. I think you said 6. There's Catherine and I will be speaking there. The one thing, and every time we do this, I'm always like, where's the one person I missed? Or there's somebody I missed.
Well, the one person is the MC,
Yeah.
the world famous Boston Dave Walter.
Dave Walter, aka MC D-Dub. We found out that it was high school or college. He was MC D-Dub. So we're trying to bring that back.
Yes.
We're trying to get rid of the Dave Walter and the MC D-Dub brought back. The one thing I would say about every one of our speakers is that all of them started out humbly. None of them started off with a silver spoon. They weren't handed anything. They weren't handed. I mean, in Naveen Jain's case, it was a plastic spork. It was that, everybody. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do, is we wanted to bring people that had achieved something from humble beginnings, not like, hey, look at this person who has made billions, but he started off with millions, so
right.
Not that that's not a small, or that's not a worthy feat. It's just, it's hard for us average folk to relate
together. Right. And the thing is that what I really like about this is it's the motivational, but it's the experience. They're world-class speakers. So they're not going to be people up there that stutter, utter, and mutter. They have a lot of experience in this. they're also have the experience of not just being motivation, but having that motivation within themselves to where they could move themselves to the next level in business and in just life, to where they can actually, live the dream, and smash the fantasy.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, um, what other things is there going to be? A mixer? Are people going to be able to interact with each other?
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to make sure that we built that part into the conference. So all the attendees will get an invitation to a invite only pre-conference mixer, which is Friday night, and that will be in Scottsdale as well. And then the day of the conference, there's going to be tons of time to be able to network and mix and mingle and be able to visit with the speakers, which I think is fantastic because, sometimes we go to these conferences and the speakers are on and off and that's it. But there's going to be the opportunity to actually speak with the speakers and, ask them your questions.
Yeah. So is there going to be a Q&A while they speak at the end of their speak, or are you going to be able to actually interact with them one-on-one and in a group setting?
I think the Q&A is probably going to depend on how much time they leave at the end, and because we're going to give them a hook because we got to stay on schedule.
Right.
And somebody's going to have to give me the hook. I don't know who's in charge of that because I'm the hook
I'll
guy.
do that.
So you're the hook guy for me. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty big. You don't want me to...
Somebody needs to be my hook person because I'll be like, I don't care if Coach Burt is waiting. I
Yeah.
got more to say. No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I know a little bit about Tab. Tab's favorite sentence is enough about me. What do you think about me?
Yeah, exactly. We're not done talking about me yet, are we? So the whatever you want to call it, the mixer, the getting together and communicating and getting to know people is a huge part of this.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's why we're doing the mixer the night before, is to get those people together. Now, what I will say is, we set this at, a minimum or a maximum, I think, of about 300 people for the conference. And I think right now we're at about 200 plus. So hopefully we'll sell out. We might not, but whatever that number is, there was a phenomenal conference this weekend in Salt Lake. I don't remember what it was, but I think they had 9,000 people.
Yeah.
And
Was it face to face?
it was face to face.
I think
And
it was put on by Unicorn.
no,
Oh, Unicorn Universe?
no,
Oh, no, it
no,
wasn't.
that's a
sorry.
different one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nope. Theirs is, yeah, it was a different one. Anyway, but the thing about that is, and I've been to one that big and they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
But with this one, we're small enough that you should be able to talk to every speaker you want to speak to.
Right.
And I mean, even Naveen Jain is going to give everybody, if he doesn't, it'll be the first time, he'll give everybody his email address and say, if you have a question, reach out to me.
Who does
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean,
But here's another
11
thing.
billion.
Here's another thing that I don't want people to miss out on. Okay, first of all, this event is extremely affordable. I think is this promo code still working?
Yes.
Okay, so you go to the acceleratesummit.com and the promo code is NL, like next level 30, NL 30 at checkout, and you get 30% off the tickets there. Now, this is why this is so important. First of all, the tickets are affordable. Second of all, only quality people are going to be coming to this conference. So you're not going to run into, and I'm not trying to offend anyone in my LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, anyone watching right now, but the people that are selling chocolate at weddings, 3 times a year, or they want to have a business, but they don't really have one, but they act like they do. This is going to be real business people with real businesses making real money and real connections. So you're going to really be able to connect with these people one-on-one. Now, the second point I want to make is these big, huge conferences with 9,000 people. So I've been going to another one, which is in Vegas now, but was in San Diego for years. I won't say the name of it because of what I'm about to say. But when they started out, it was great. We were renting booths there for $5,000 for the weekend. And we're spending a lot of money on chocolate. That's how we attracted people. But the thing is, it was great in the beginning because when you have these smaller conferences, it's really the business people showing up. But then when it grows into the 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 small business owners, it's really employees. And so when you're meeting these people, you want to talk with the business owner, but you're getting an employee, and the employee's like the gatekeeper, and they're saying, okay, I'll let the owner know about that. You're not going to experience that at the Accelerate Summit. These are going to be real business owners that own real businesses that want to really interact with other people, connect and engage, and maybe do some strategic alliances and affiliate networking, right?
Absolutely. They are going to, they want to make an impact as well.
Right.
And they, they're not so high up on this pedestal that they've forgotten what it's like to work your way up and put in the hard work and, not have a whole team of people that does everything for you. So we were,
Right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we will welcome anybody, but what happens is people self-select out. They'll just go, this isn't for me, and we hear that all the time. And on one point, it's it makes us sad that they're going to do that, that they'll self-select out for whatever reason. But what it does for attendees is it does really elevate the people that are there, because those are the people that really are there to experience something unique, and that they really are trying to work on their business, just not in their business.
Right. Yeah, and that's what the point I was making. That's why I had to do my little disclaimer. But there's been a lot of events. I have my own events,
Mhm.
and I had an event during the pandemic, but it is in Arizona, so it wasn't really. But the thing is, I all the people at my event, it was free. I paid for all the food and alcohol, and I paid for the venue, so it was free. I just
Oh,
wanted people to come in, and I thought it was very successful. I actually got a business partner out of it, and but my point is, it's the quality of people. So it's kind of like if you go to if you go somewhere, if I go to a free concert as compared to a concert that I pay for, I just get a different experience. That's kind of the point I was making.
yes, yes.
And I want to say something real quickly. There's this musician that my son and I like. His name's Madish Yahoo, and guy is just great. And I've seen him live when I've paid for him, and I saw him live when I didn't pay for him.
Yeah.
When I didn't pay for him, I got every penny's worth out of that conference. It
Yeah.
was horrible, and he was not very good. So, sometimes if you invest nothing, you should expect to receive an equal return on that investment.
Right. And here's another thing. The people that are going to be at this event, because I've been to these events in the past, and I know a lot of the people that are going to be there because we have a small family of a circle of friends here in a circle of influence, I should say, in the Phoenix and Tempe area, Gilbert, Chandler,
Mhm.
Mesa, and the quality of people that I've met, like, are real, are just really making a shift in our local area and also globally. So that being said, are there anything that you're doing at my events? I have a nonprofit. So I'm a musician, and I don't know what that means because I found, well, I have, like, in my other room here, I have like a drum set, a keyboard, a bass, microphones, amps, drums, all that. Um, but the thing is that I forgot where I was going with this, but
You
the
have
I
a
was trying to make the
nonprofit?
point, of the family and the circle of friends that we have, is that when we bring everyone together, we can all we I don't know what I'm saying. Go ahead, you guys take it over.
We are going to have a nonprofit element to it. We have
That's what
worked
I
with,
was saying.
okay.
I gave away a keyboard to our nonprofit. Go ahead.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we are partnering with the Phoenix Legacy Foundation. Jason Bressler is one of the founding members of it. And they are going to have, it's just like a little fun thing. We're going to have a raffle and things like that to raise money for veterans and children and animals. But there's also going to be an opportunity to go and fill out a card where they're going to send to the troops overseas, that that they include with various care packages that they send them. And, so it doesn't even, if you don't have the money to donate, you can certainly fill out a card and take 2 minutes of your life to brighten somebody else's day and
Yeah.
give back to those that are putting their life on the line for us.
Okay. So,
I was just going to say one more thing,
yeah.
Dave. You're a musician. I play the radio. Dude, we're like the same.
Yeah. I can sing for you right now.
Yeah, I can too, but it's going to be horrible, and everybody's going to shut off real quick.
So one of the things with the a nonprofit, are there going to be booths here that to where we can meet some of the people or meet the nonprofit and understand more of what is available for us to donate?
Yes, we are not having, it's not a booth fest. We have about, I think, a maximum of 16 different booths. Some of them are from the speakers, and one is for the nonprofit. One is, our thing, so people can get to know Network Live a little bit more. But it's not, so yes, there are booths, but it's not going to be a whole
Yeah.
thing.
Well, no, and booths bring value. I love booths.
And
I do too.
I was gonna say, I'm a great partial listener in life, and
I can attest to that.
and she can attest to that. And I heard the venue say we have 6 tables available to us. And then when I was talking to them about a week and a half ago, they're no, not 6, 16. So I think we're up to about 8 or 10, right? And we haven't really been promoting that. So if anybody wants an inexpensive table and we'll give them a table and a ticket, then we'll make it work out, because all of a sudden we're like, oh, we thought we had 6. I don't know.
Well, how about for the people listening, if we give them a table, a ticket, and then they can bring someone?
Yeah, table, ticket, and you can bring someone.
Right. That way they can interact and then also have someone watch their table.
Yep. And if they twist our arms, we probably do a table of ticket, and they can bring a couple of people. Whatever. I mean, it's just.
We'll work with them.
We'll work with them. I mean, if they're like, oh, I got to bring my dog. No, not the dog. I love dogs. Dogs will just distract me, and I won't be able to speak.
So the best way for them to find out about that would be to go to the acceleratesummit.com. And how would they be able to contact you? Would it be Tab or Catherine email, or is there a phone number? What would be the best way to connect?
It would be Tab, TAB as in boy, at networkedlive.com.
And that's networked with an ED.
Yes,
ED,
correct.
Yeah. ED. Don't say that too often. Hey.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about Network Live a little bit. So what exactly is going on with that? Is that completely separate? Are there other events that you have with Network Live, or is it only one conference a year?
No, we have business networking mixers 3 times a month.
In the
Phoenix area, one usually in the Scottsdale area, one on the west side, Peoria, Glendale area. And starting in October, we'll regularly be having them in Gilbert, Chandler area as well. And we also host fireside chats where we bring people in that are doing remarkable things, I guess is a good way to say it, to help open our perspectives, widen our view of what's possible.
It's like a one speaker conference is what it is. Like some of these speakers have been on our fireside chat.
Yes. And then we have training and coaching services available as well. But the events that we host on a monthly basis are the mixers and the fireside chats.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that is like really what we are, as we've morphed over the last 2 years, we're a professional development company, coaching, mentoring, training. And so we'll have specials there if people want to join us in some of the other activities that we have that are beyond the mixers, beyond the fireside chat and that. So those will all be available, and those will be announced at the conference.
Okay, so but for right now, is there a way for people to find out more about those that are in the immediate area?
Yes. So they can go to Networked Live, NETWORKED live.com, and you can find out more about our organization. We will be implementing our calendar. We're in the middle of what is it? Moving it
Moving
from one provider to another.
and redoing our website.
Yes,
A
and we're
great
doing
a
our
great time to do it.
yeah, all things at once.
So what do you mean by moving?
um, I don't know because I'm not technical. Tab can explain it.
But basically, we're just updating our website, and so the website that we acquired is cumbersome, and so we're moving it over to a platform, completely redoing it, and it's going to be live and ready to go by the conference. Where's the wood? There we go.
And so is that was that part of the Networking Phoenix acquisition?
The one that we have, yes, that is, but it's just honestly, it's
Not what we need right
yeah,
now.
it's not what
Yeah.
we need, and it's a lot from a technical standpoint. It's a pretty cumbersome. So
Yeah.
we're like 95% of the way done with the relaunch of the new website.
So I've written a couple books over the past couple weeks because
Wow.
yeah. So one's called a virtual event mastery, but it has to do with having an event.
Yeah.
The other one is building connections in virtual conferences. The
Mhm.
other one I'm going to do is tech tools and virtual event excellence. So, and then I'm going to also do one on getting sponsors and one for speakers. One of the things now, I know you got world-class speakers, and it's sometimes difficult, especially when you have a podcast. I have choreography of negotiation, I have automation rehab, we have Solution Nation, we have a few podcasts going on. And one of the things that I found, which is very difficult, is getting speakers that really understand getting a nice microphone. And I'm not saying you. It's just I've had a lot of people come in here, smacking their gum, and their microphone's like 20 feet away from them, and they're using it their laptop microphone. I had one guy at Nordstrom buying a shirt on his phone. I'm like,
No way.
yeah.
Or my favorite is the camera's here, but they're looking over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually have that. So one of the things is I can maybe even do this. So, hey,
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yes.
I've had people do that, and I'm like, I just want to yell, hey, I'm over here.
yeah. And the creepy thing that I have with mine, there's this, and I don't know if I share this too often. These aren't my real eyes. These are artificial intelligent eyeballs. So my eyes are always looking at the camera, even when I'm not. So now that you guys know that, you're going to creep out. But hey,
No,
that's
that's
just
cool.
yeah. And the thing is, since I'm an influencer and I am a content creator, I have to have some way that it appears like I'm paying attention.
Mm.
But back to you guys. So a little bit about Network Live, because this is really interesting. So with Network Live, you meet a few times a month, and then are there mastermind groups? I mean, what is there anything on the back end? What do you offer on the back end of that?
Give that to me. Give that to me.
Okay.
I love my wife. We somebody told us that we need to stop being sarcastic and flippant with each other, because sarcasm works with two people and three it doesn't. So we're slowly but surely learning that our humor doesn't necessarily translate into a large audience. But so my background, and really what brought us into this, was that my company, as you know, because we spoke on your podcast, we're $1 million in debt total. And I created a program specifically to get me out of debt, to get my company out of debt. And ultimately, that became what is today known as Mastery Alliance inside of Network Live. And it is, how do you get the most out of yourself? And because I went from desperation of using it to inspiration and some really massive net worth growth. And so that's one of our programs. It's called Mastery Alliance. And it's really, how can you, take with about 80 to 90% certainty that you're going to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish in a year. Then we also do for business owners, that more higher level um, individuals, and we're trying to make it, we continue to make it more affordable, but not honestly not so affordable that everybody can have access, and that's the Refiners Advisory Board. And what that is that that's a group of leaders that come together to help each other grow, solve problems, overcome obstacles, and that it's not a lead gen, though business happens, because we know business happens with people that we like, know, and trust. But it's really how do we have an advisory board that we can go to, in a variety of things. And those are the kind of our two key programs. We also have something called Connections, which is kind of uh, like the Mixer Plus, which gives people access to mixers that are paid only, and breakfasts and stuff like that. And then we got these retreats and stuff that we're doing. I think that's about it.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the retreats.
We are doing Tab is doing a I'm not going to be there. The men's retreat, and he's partnering with Chris Carlisle, Shay Hillenbrand, and Christopher Reeves, the Superman.
No, not the
I'm just
Superman.
kidding.
Yeah.
But his name is Christopher Reeves. Anyway, and we're going to be doing a couples retreat, and then we're also going to be doing a women's retreat. We don't have the details nailed down on that yet, but they're also going to have a sales training retreat.
Sales and growth.
Yeah, sales and growth retreat. So we want to start making it so it's more intimate settings, and where we can just deliver a lot of value and really get together and spend a couple really quality days together, and just transform ourselves and transform our businesses into something even better than it already is.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know why it's called a men's retreat?
Because there'll be men there.
Because we're running from women.
Yeah. Because
Am I right?
because women gather and men retreat.
Oh, okay. I'd never heard that. I was like, that's funny. So, well, one thing I will say about the men's retreat is, Shay Hillenbrand, who's the former MLB baseball player, was like, we need to do it and do the first one in the spring, so we can get a behind a look of spring training in baseball and that. And so that was the kind of the reason why we chose to do it then. Then Chris Carlisle is talking about how do we make it in the fall around football. So
Yeah.
it's men, so we are going to do a few manly type of things.
Right. Eating barbed wire and
Exactly.
so now my good friend Ken MacArthur, he does events, and then Susan Evans is another. These guys are top coaches, and I went to read a couple posts that I saved from them. This is about having an event. Now Ken wrote, "Forgive me. Let me see." He said, "I woke up from a dream. I was given a speech and blah blah blah." And then he was like, let's all have an event. And then he said, here's a dark secret of producing your own events. You spend most of your day reaching out to people individually and convincing them to show up. Why? Because that's the only thing that really works. People have to be dragged out of their complacency to get to a live event. It's excruciating to talk to someone into dragging their unmoving butt, getting in a car early in the morning and actually show up. It's work and it's stupid, because what happens when they actually do show up? Magic happens.
Yes.
Every time people rave, lives change, things become so clear, and lifetime relationships are born at the moment that lasts forever. And I can go on and on about it, but I know you guys have put your heart, blood, and soul, and sweat and tears and all of this into this event to get people to go. And this is one of the things you're doing right now, is this live thing. So we need anyone that's listening right now to go to the acceleratesummit.com, get your tickets. And again, use the code NL next level 30. Remember, next level 30 for your coupon code to get a 30% discount. Okay, I just want to put that little plug in there, because it is hard work to put these events together and get people to get off their unmoving butts and get into the event. But once they get in there, the magic happens.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit more about that magic and with the Accelerate Summit. So what is going to be some of the benefits aside from the speakers, the booths, and the networking?
People are going to leave transformed. Like Tab said, it's not a motivational conference. You're going to be the attendees are going to be leaving with actionable tools or insights or things that they can implement in their lives right away to make a difference in their businesses or in their personal life. And one of the things that I love about conferences or things like this is getting a new perspective, because we all view the world from our own map basically. And when we go into these and we're open and we are really listening because we want to learn, we want to change, we want to grow, you're going to walk away and you're just going to be blown away with all of the ideas and the connections that you make, and the shot in the arm, I guess you could say, of, oh my gosh, I can do this, because there's a whole stage of people and people that are around you in the audience that are doing it. And so it's not like, oh, that's okay for them, but it's not for me. You can absolutely do what the speakers have done, what
Yeah.
the attendees are doing.
She's looking at me like, you better add something. So
No, I just
I'm see, that's sarcasm. We just got it. It's hard. It's hard.
So just so to back up a little bit, because everyone's going to have their opinion. When you're
Yes.
authentic and you shoot from the hip, you never miss. Okay,
Yeah,
you're a
well,
lovely,
I
darling,
know.
cute,
And you're,
adorable couple,
yeah.
and that's what I
Okay.
get from
Thank you.
this.
Thank you. And you know what? The people that get to know us find out that this is us, and we just,
Yeah.
you know, we
36 years of
30,
this.
36 years. By the way, I'll
Yeah.
just say I used to have this great joke that I would say, oh, we've been married 36 years. I'm like, man, it's been like 28 of the happiest years of my life. And
Yeah.
then she would go, really, it's that many? It's been like 6 for me. And I was like, you ruined a perfectly good joke. And she's like, no, I think I made it better.
Yes.
So that joke
Yeah.
died. I don't use that joke
Right.
anymore.
Well, there's the other one where the man says, you know, honey, it says here that women use twice as many words as men. And she goes, maybe that's because we always have to repeat ourselves.
Oh,
And he
that
goes,
hurts.
what?
She finds that much funnier than I do. But what I was going to say, you know, one of the things that people will say is, like, I'll hear it all the time. It's like, how do you know these speakers? Because getting these speakers was the easiest part of this event. Getting people out is the hard
Oh my
part.
goodness.
Yeah.
And how I've gotten to know, and all of these people are friends of mine. I met most of them at a conference.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just was like, why wouldn't somebody want to be my friend? And then I just kind of like weaseled my way into all of their lives. And I say that because that's what this is about. So, you know, we hear everybody's excuse like, well, I'll try to make it. If people say I'll try or anything like that,
They're not coming.
I'll just look at them and go, you're not coming. Give you a 0% chance you're coming. Well, I got to see if I've got anything, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, 0% chance. And
Right.
almost 100% of the time, I'm right. If someone
Yeah.
says I'll be there, almost 100% of the time they're there. So the words we choose and use matter. But it was Naveen Jain, and you know, Catherine talked about the things that you learn and you get. Naveen Jain at the first one made a couple of impacts on me. Everybody did, but one of the things he said, because I said, oh, you know, you can lead a horse to water, and but the horse won't drink. He goes, it's actually worse. He goes, the horse will lead themselves to water, and they still won't drink. And that's an experience we have. People want to have a better business. They want to have growth. They want to have this success. They'll lead themselves to water. We come up and say, here's a pool of water. And they're like, nah, I don't want it. And
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So those are the things that you're going to learn. And once you learn that in your life, you really can't shut it off. And then it becomes like, am I leading myself to water and not drinking it? And those are the
Yeah.
kind of things that you get from a conference like this, is things that you put into your life ongoing.
One of the things you said, I want to back up because you probably missed it. It's a mindset thing. But you said, well, who wouldn't want to be my friend? Which is a great question. And I know for me, so I'm pretty self-deprecating, and people say you got to quit doing that. And I'm like, but then I can walk the walk. But that's besides the point, is that the who wouldn't want to be my friend, who wouldn't, like, it's literally like, I know when I have an event, and I'm dealing with this right now, that there are people that are totally resistant to come into my event, that if they were to show up, they'd have been like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have went to the last one.
Yes.
Yep.
I already know that. And I listened to Uncle G. That's all I'll say for the name.
I love Uncle G. I mean,
Okay, that's cool.
Uncle G scripted's great. Uncle G unscripted's crazy.
But also, yeah. And the thing is that I've always said another little tip from your Uncle Sean. I've been saying that for 20 years, and then this guy comes up. But anyhow, but he says you got to burn your fire so bright that your competitors and the people that need you, they want to sit by the fire and feel its warmth.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know this or not. I have one of these. This is
What?
called a phone for those of you that don't know. And the reason I use this is you can't text it. And I'm going to be making hundreds of phone calls today, and I'm going to be inviting people to your event
Thank
and to my
you.
event. But I'm going to be talking about yours more than mine because mine's going to be successful regardless because I already got it all set up. But I want people, and that's why I'm doing this right now. You want to be at this event. I want the people that are listening to this right now to know there are people right now waiting for you to call them and they have their credit card ready. It's in their hand. They're waiting for you to call
Yes.
and they just want you to call and they're going to buy your product or service. We know that you want to be at this event. You just need to get off your unmoving butt and go to theacceleratesummit.com, get on there, buy your ticket, and I'll see you Friday night at the party and Saturday during the day.
Word. Hey, can I add one? Because dude, that's fire. But can I add one more thing?
Sure.
One more thing. You know why we're better than a superhero?
Why is that?
Because we don't need an arch nemesis. We are our own arch nemesis.
Right.
We get in our own way. We sit back and say, oh, it's a Saturday. Oh, it's this, it's that. And it's like, the people that show up are the people that grow.
Yeah.
I experienced, and I'll be just blunt. I went from $1 million in debt in 26 months to, I'll just say, a net worth in excess of 8 figures. And I'll just leave it at that.
I was there too.
She was there too. She was,
Yeah.
she was. But I say that because it was things like conferences, it was podcasts, it was everything I could get my hands on to get any tidbit of information to give me the motivation, because people poo-poo motivation, but motivation with direction is powerful, and you
Right.
got to get that. And that is the thing that people miss, is they sit back and they retract, and they self-sabotage. If you just show up,
Right.
show up, and it's going to be an unbelievable event. And so get there now before you're on the outside looking in going, I wish I would have gone. Because
Yeah.
in this case, in a lot of cases, FOMO is real. So
Yeah.
just get there.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Catherine.
I was just going to say that a lot of times when people, like Tab was saying, will self-select out, oh, that's not for me, or I won't know anybody. It doesn't matter if you don't know anybody, because you're going to leave having known a lot of people.
Yeah.
The people that we get out to, even our mixers, are very inclusive. They are, people are looking for those that happen to be standing, maybe a little bit introverted and not talking to anybody. They're going to grab you and take you into their little group of people that are talking. And if they don't know somebody, come up and talk to Tab and me, and we will introduce you to people. And don't shrink from your greatness because you have whatever excuses are going on in your head. Step out of that comfort zone and come.
Yeah.
I want to say just one quick thing.
Yeah.
We want to be careful, because what we do is we make it seem like everybody that's in the audience is successful because these are business people. It is not the case. So if you are at a very basic level, then you need to be here, because there are people. We have one guy that is homeless, that it's just like, I want to be there, I want to be there, I want to be there. I can't. I don't have the money. I don't have the money, but I want to be there. And I said, hey, I want you there because you're on the cusp of learning something and being something great, but I don't want to give you a free ticket. And he came back and he's like, can I volunteer? Can I do something? Can I help? And so I say that because sometimes we're going to look around and go, oh, everybody's successful. No, they're not.
Right.
So we all start where we're at, and the biggest obstacle we have is ourselves. Nobody there is going to be like, "Ha ha ha! Look at you! You're like there, and I'm up here." That
Yeah.
won't
That
happen.
doesn't happen at these events.
No.
It's the people that are wearing the big hats and the capes and the shiny stuff. They're the ones that are struggling. And I know that. We all know that. But one thing you did miss, Tab,
I
and I
miss a
need to
lot,
bring this
but go
to the
ahead.
forefront, is behind every successful man, there's a woman rolling her eyes. But that's besides. So but yeah, so it takes a village. And again, that one individual having that thirst and like, I need to drink from that well. We're all coming to the same well. We're all, and it's not the Kool-Aid, okay? It's
Right.
just it's wellness, it's mindset, it's success, it's being with others. I want to tell you guys a quick story. I went to an event and there's a cowboy sitting there. No one was talking to him. He's a wallflower. And so we're I go, I like talking to the wallflowers because I'm so extroverted. I piss off extroverts. They're like, dude, calm down. Like,
Yeah, you're
take
my
a
kind of
Quaalude. You're
person.
just going nuts, right? So I go up and I talk to this guy. I say, how are you doing? He's not really responsive. And I'm like, so where are you from? He goes, oh, I'm from Texas. And I'm like, oh, okay. I go, what do you do out there? And he goes, well, I just do some ranching. I go, oh, so are you a rancher? Do you own a ranch? And he goes, oh, I own a ranch. And I'm like, okay, so what do you have on your ranch? And I'm having to pull teeth to get
Yes.
information from this guy. And he goes, oh, I have exotic animals. So he kind of lit up. So then I'm thinking cowboy, ranch, exotic animals. He hires these executives to come out and shoot Bambi, right? That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I go, well, what do you do with the exotic animals? He goes, well, I bought them for my kids. So then I look at him like all awkward and I go, you bought your kids a zoo of exotic animals? And he looks at me like I got a thorn growing out of my head. He goes, yes. And I go, why did you do that? And he goes, Sean, listen, I'm a billionaire. I own a lot of real estate. I just don't want any of these people talking to me because they're going to ask me to invest in something or they're going to, he goes, you're the only guy that like showed interest in me as a person,
Yes.
right? And so what I found, I'm also writing a book called How to Network with People, how to do that, because I want to talk a little bit about this because we're coming up to the top of the hour. But one of the things, and for people watching this, when you go to an event, if there's a circle and someone walks up, open up the circle, let them in, bring
Yes.
them in. We're all family. Also, don't put your fangs in someone's neck like one of the speakers and talk to them for 10 or 20 minutes. Other people want to talk to them. You might want to write your questions down on a little pad of paper. I always have a little book with me. And hey, look, a little plug for my company Keep, which I'm a partner of.
There we go.
And then also you know what, allow other people to interact with each other and don't make everything about you. That's what engaging and networking is. It's really letting other people have the stage for a few short minutes so that you can have the stage for even a few shorter minutes
Yes.
so that everyone can get to know each other. Okay, so enough of me on my soapbox, but it's really important that people get to engage with each other and that you don't make it all about you
Yes.
out there in TV land. Okay.
It's all we do business with people we like, know, and trust. I
Right.
every time somebody walks up to me and thrusts a business card in front of me and then walks away, I look at Catherine and I said, "Do I have something in my teeth?" Because that's all I'm going to do is use their business card to clean my teeth.
Nice.
I mean, and so I mean, it's we have to build relationships.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
When Tab and I first took over what was Networking Phoenix, I remember the first mixer walking out with a stack of business cards because people were just like dealing them out like cards. And I walked out and I'm like, I don't even remember who these people are. There was no conversation or engagement or, anything. And instead of worrying about what you're going to say, ask questions of other people,
Show interest.
show interest, find out
Right.
what the commonalities are. and don't be so worried about what you're going to say, or if you say something stupid or that kind of a thing. You just ask
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. I just sell them weight loss. I go home with a big stack and go, hey, buy my Nutrisystem. Um, everybody wants to lose 5 pounds.
That's right.
But here's the thing is when it comes with that, with I've been to some events okay, how am I going to say this?
I just say it. What the heck?
Well, the thing is, I go to some events that are free, and some of the people there are not business owners. They're just friends. They like the energy of the event. So then when I sit with them and I'm like, so what do you do? They're like, oh no, I'm just friends with this guy. And I'm like, so I sat at their table. I'm like, hey you guys, you mind if I sit with you? So now I'm invested sitting with them at the table and I'm going to order some food. But it turns out they're not business owners. So I'm like, well, this is awkward. And I
Right.
said that out loud. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go, like, I'm here to network. I'm a business owner. I want to really interact and get to know some people in the business community. And so please excuse me. I wish I would have said it that way, but
You didn't say.
You just said, I'm out.
Did you say? You guys look like you could lose 5 pounds. Are you
I
not?
did. And I helicoptered, what's it called? I passed
Yeah,
out my
pass out. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
business card. So, but the thing is that doesn't happen at this event because of the people that come here and because the affordable price of the tickets. You get that type of person at the event. So a lot of people that disqualify themselves, they're not disqualifying them because of the affordable ticket. They're disqualifying themselves because they really are not in the space of being around amazing people, and they're just not there yet.
Yes.
But as backing up to the homeless guy, he had the thirst. He's like, whatever it takes. There's a story in Think and Grow Rich where the guy was like, you know what? I gotta work. He's like working with Edison or something,
Yes.
Yeah.
some guy. And he's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to work with this guy. And then he ended up working with the guy. And I've had that too. I got a job, one of my first corporate jobs. I called every day. There were 6 positions open, and then 5, and then 4, and then it ended up there was only 1 position left. And I kept calling every day, and they finally said, "Should we hire this Schoen guy?" They hired me, and I was the hardest working guy in that whole department, and I skyrocketed all the way to the top
Yes.
because of my work ethic and because of my thirst. And those are the people at this event. They have the thirst, and that's why they're showing up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So to round this all up, I mean, let's go over again. I'm going to go over the speakers because I have it up here. We have Naveen Jain. He's going to be showing up, and he's the author of Moonshots, and he is a billionaire, but he's really going to be talking about abundance. We have Coach Michael Burt, and he wrote a book. Is that Flip the Switch?
Yes. Yeah.
And then Michael Burnoff, and isn't so Shea Hillebrand is the baseball player, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then tell me a little bit about Michael.
Michael Burnoff is the founder of the Human Communication Institute in Scottsdale. And he has, for the last 20 plus years, discovered and studied language and how we communicate with each other, how we communicate with ourselves, and how we can just make little tweaks in the way that we think. Instead of it being, I have to exercise 7 days a week, how about I exercise more often than not?
Right.
And so you're not setting yourself up for failure. And he has wonderful programs and really life-changing nuggets that you're going to take away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
So all of these speakers are great. Burnoff is one that when he talks, I just sit back and I'm like, I mean, I don't, I'm a horrible note taker, right? But when I'm listening to him, I'm an avid note taker. And he has this thing at the end of October called
Core Live.
Core Live, and it's not inexpensive, but it's not expensive. And as soon as he said, I'm doing that, and we spent an hour with him, and I was just like, we got to be there because it is the way he presents. Because I hear people like, oh, I'm a great communicator, I'm this or I'm that. It's like, oh no, the what he's talking about is so next level that it's even hard to explain. So I sit there and listen to Catherine explain it, and I'm like, you're explaining it poorly. And then if I tried to explain it, as I'm explaining it poorly. I mean, he's that good, and it's
Yeah.
not to take it away from Catherine or me. It's like it's just an unbelievable level of getting getting points across to yourself and to others.
Yeah, and I really need that. I have a lot of self-talk. I say a lot of things out loud, and the whole self-deprecation thing for me is I know where it comes from because of I'm in a and I'll just say it, I'm in a 12-step program. So one of the things is humility. So
Mhm.
reverse pride is self-deprecation, right? So rather than saying I'm so amazing, you'd say, well, I'm not so amazing. Now you should like me, which really makes people just go, wow, dude, why you talk about yourself like that?
Right.
So I need to work on that myself,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
even though I am totally amazing.
Of
Yeah.
course you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the Accelerate Summit, THE Accelerate Summit, spelled just like it sounds, the acceleratesummit.com. Remember, go to the promo code NL, like next level, 30 for your coupon code, save 30%. And it's going to be this Saturday, September 30th.
Yes.
And you're going to want, and now tell us a little bit about the Friday night thing as we wrap out. What's going on there?
So it's going to be just a pre-conference mixer but it's going to be a chance for you to be able to interact and get to know some of the people that are going to be at the conference. A few of the speakers are also going to be there, and it's just kind of a kickoff to be able to get everybody excited and on the same page, and just an extra opportunity for people to get to know each other, and as business owners and as people that are wanting to grow.
Where's it
And
at and what time?
It is at the Riot House in Scottsdale. And once you buy your ticket, you will receive a separate email that has the link to register, because it's attendees only.
is this for everyone or just the VIPs?
Nope, this is
Everyone.
for all conference attendees.
Okay, and it's at the Riot House at what time?
6 to 8:30 on Friday night in Scottsdale.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
getting out of there by 8:30 because at 9 o'clock that whole area turns into debauchery and stuff. So
That's not our
Yeah.
scene.
that's not our scene.
Yeah, it's like going to whiskey bar. Let's have a mixer with a live band and a real drum set.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, so
what?
we get in and get out. We're like a SWAT team. We get in when nobody's there. We get out before everybody's there. Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for showing up for this session of Sean Snowday Presents. It's a true honor to have you guys here. I look forward to seeing you. So once again, it's theacceleratesummit.com. The promo code is NL, like next level 30, for your coupon code to save 30%. We'll be meeting at the Riot House at 6 to 8:30 p.m. in Scottsdale, and we will be meeting at the
Coastal
Scottsdale
Resort at
At McCormick
McCormick Ranch.
at McCormick Ranch.
And I can tell everybody that if you want to speak to the speakers, and even like Naveen Jain, who's going to be remote, if you want to talk to them, they're going to be accessible.
Okay. Thanks you guys so much for showing
you
up, and
so
we'll talk
much.
to you soon.